Good morning. Today's coffee is brought to you by the Sweater Texture Mug. Happy Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. My forward progress is thrown for a little bit of a loop, even though I got a lot done yesterday. But I had to have an emergent doctor's appointment because I'm having some issues that are related to the weight loss that I've experienced. So after putting it off for more than I probably should have, I got the referral for a surgeon. Unfortunately, it's not for my shoulder. So I went and talked to a doctor yesterday, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Like, I'm not quite sure how the physical issues or discomfort that I've experienced, because when you lose 140 pounds, it feels like you're carrying around the skin of somebody who's no longer here. And it just I am autistic, and sensory-wise, trying to get all that skin into clothes where it doesn't move is a weird sensory thing, but it also leads to skin issues that people can have when they lose a lot of weight. The situation with my arm and my shoulder not healing, I bought 2 anaconda braces, which are billed for like people with high intensity, tackle them and beat them up lives, right? That isn't necessarily me. The problem I have is that they don't stabilize my shoulder in the way that I need, because the excess skin on my arm makes it so that the size that I need here doesn't fit because of what's left here. And it's like, everybody knows what bingo arms, multiply that by 100 of, as far as that being empty skin that moves around. It's like, yeah, that also is the problem I have with my thighs and my stomach and all my extra skin, where I'll say to Shane, it's like, it feels like I have 9 ass cheeks because of all the skin I'm trying to shove in my underwear. And that's not my favorite thing about being perceived as smaller. I'm smaller, but I'm way more uncomfortable. And it was startling from the beginning when I started to notice sensory-wise what my body and skin was doing, where I said to Shane last night, I was like, I remember the day that I noticed that my thighs were doing me dirty. I said, I remember I was at Great Lakes Antiques and the phone had rang and I went to go grab it. It was for somebody else. And I had lost a lot of weight at that moment, or I was down a lot of weight at that time. And I ran to go give Lori the phone, and I was like, oh, I got it. And then in the moment I stopped, I looked at her and she's like, what? And I was like, I just ran, and I don't think I've ever really done that. But when I stopped running, my thighs did not. This skin is bothering me. And that was 4 years ago. And that was just when I noticed sensory-wise. But with the malnutrition and dehydration that I've been complaining about on the internet, I have dealt with UTIs because my kidneys couldn't flush my system enough. And I've dealt with all of these different issues. And I change my clothes 100 times a day because I'm never comfortable. It turns out that excess skin is not just an uncomfortable factor. It is why I'm having it's why I've been on antibiotics for like the last 3 times in the last 4 years for UTIs that were unexplainable. Now it's, you can't put 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. Ugh. Okay, what does that mean? Are you going to cut off my thighs? I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. How is that not voluntary? And every surgeon I have looked up, ma'am, I do not want, I believe you are good at your job. And one day when I am mentally prepared, I will look at your before and after pictures. But those are parts of bodies I don't even want to see on myself. And I say, ma'am, because I don't think I realize this, but when it comes to needing a surgeon in a certain kind of realm, there is not a man in the world that I would be like, yep, I'm going to go see that surgeon. I don't have that comfortability. Where it's like, nope, you better be a female. Like, if you don't have the parts we're talking about, I don't know what. And it has nothing to do necessarily with dicks and vaginas. It has to do with the medical trauma that I carry because I've experienced in this realm, where the medical trauma that I incurred while I was in the hospital for 54 hours while Grayson was refusing to be born. If I have to go to a doctor that requires me to take my pants off, I don't care if you got to look at my foot or my knee. chances are I'm going to have an emotional reaction because of the medical trauma I still carry from that time. So if you don't know what it's like to have a baby stuck in your birth canal for 8 hours while your epidural didn't work, I can't take my pants off in the same room. I can't. I don't think I can. I don't think it's possible. Physically impossible. Because I don't think that you're going to be prepared for my emotional dysregulation. You may be the best saddle region surgeon in the world and wrote the book on it. But for you to be able to, for me to feel the camaraderie of emotional support of you have any idea of the trauma that has happened like before, like I can't, like that idea. It's like, I will never not laugh about this story because I'm autistic and I would shower in jean shorts if I could. I do not like the feeling of my own skin touching my own skin. I want to wear a full body suit all the time. And that has always existed in my life at any size. Me and my girlfriend Kelly would always say, like, I'm a never nude. I would shower in jean shorts if I could, which is a reference to Arrested Development. When I was getting ready to have Grayson and I was pregnant and I was talking to my cousin who had 4 babies at this point in time, I was like, yeah, I bought an outfit to wear while I have a baby. And I showed her and it was like, look at this shirt and the shorts. And she was like, she looked at me like I had 3 heads. And I was like, what? She's like, honey, are you under the impression you can have a baby while wearing those shorts? And I was like, I didn't necessarily think that through. I understand and appreciate a lot of my isms now. In that realm of things, first of all, I was being in labor at hour 40. I was like, let the janitor in. If anybody can talk this baby out, let him out. Like at some point that like, oh God, when you're in enough pain, that goes away, right? Like, I'm grateful I'm not in that much pain or discomfort that I have to work through that boundary I have right now. I'm grateful. I found a lady surgeon who is very good at what she does, and it's like, okay, I'm not looking to get a mommy makeover, but I would like to be able to sit down comfortably and not feeling like I'm sitting around like a human suit, like somebody else's skin. It just doesn't feel like it's on my body anymore. And with my connective tissue issue, it's not. It turns out that there's a chance because of my collagen and skin and connective tissue not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I think that after it's been 2 years that I've been at a consistent, that I'm not dropping weight like a high school wrestler or gaining weight, where I've been at this consistent weight. And even though I didn't try to get here, I'm happy with where it is. I would be considered a normal size, but the problem is that not all parts of my body fit into anything that it should, where it's like, oh, some people are like, oh, my top is a size large and my bottom is a size extra large. It's like, yeah, my bust is a large, my waist is a small, my hips are a 3X, my arms, given any other Tuesday or the way my arm is, it's not a medium or a large anaconda brace, and the small will cut off the circulations and I can't feel my fingers. Like, I have to have a consultation with somebody to be like, okay, this is the size and weight that I currently am, but I think we've identified that what's holding it all in is not doing a good enough job to not medically need to have some sort of alterations. What the hell does that mean? Where it's like, I don't want to see your befores and afters. Those were those people who just had uncomfortability and some medical issues, or were those elective? Like, I don't know what we're looking at, and like just having to have that conversation and it is so anxiety inducing. Of like, it all boils down to I worked so hard to have these results at some point and was so unbelievably successful, and then the minute I wasn't doing that and I was focusing on caring for other people, I just dropped weight like a high school wrestler, and like I don't know how to be proud of it, yet alone like to have somebody have somebody draw on my body and be like, this is the problem. It's like, I have no idea what to expect, but I did all the research to find a group that is covered under my insurance that does the elective stuff, but also like takes into consideration what is physiologically and medically going on to be able to correct an issue, and not just, oh, can you just cut this part off? Because I don't even know if I have ever elected to do that. I have hyper researched it, because when you lose 140 pounds, there is a lot of collateral damage left behind. But I don't know if I would ever elect to do that. But knowing that I have to talk to somebody kind of before I'm ready to, of like, yeah, so like for 4 years, I've just been like pulling my bootstraps up and trying to figure it out. And I just thought that like it would eventually do what it's supposed to do. But it turns out this is just what we have. And then I don't want to see I can't look at another thing where it looks like ma'am, it looks like that. It looks like you spiral cut that woman's legs. Like that is, I've given myself stitches. I have things that like medically, like blood and stuff like that, doesn't gross me out. But like the idea of what they might have to do to fix this problem is like, okay, all right. Like that's just too much to wrap my head around. I have an appointment tomorrow at 2 p.m. to go talk to somebody about my thighs. I don't want to play this game anymore. I literally said to Shane, I was like, can I fast forward through this part where I don't have to take my pants off in front of doctors anymore? Can we do that? Oh, God. I have no idea what to expect. So I'm in the studio today, and I'm waiting for for the costumer to drop off fabric for my prototype for a costume. And I'm waiting for 2 people to call me about getting their quilts scheduled. And so it's like I'm going forward progress, but I don't know what creatively I'm going to be able to get done today. But just know the whole time, the only thing I can think about is, are they going to cut my thighs off? And that's just a weird mindset to be in. But it's yes, and keep going. Life's a game of improv. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope you punch today in the face. We'll see if I get things done. And wish me luck. Not my favorite thing to happen today was that I just had a problem pulling all of my old medical records because I was still logged into my mom's. That sucked. I think I needed to take a few days off.